Hi S1 and S2, this is the investigating character lesson as part of our approach to studying novels in Bertha Park. Just as a reminder, structure is how a story is organised. The plot refers to the main events that occur in the story. Setting is the time and place in which the story occurs. Characters are the people who are affected by the events in the story. The narrator is the person who tells the story, and the themes are the big ideas that come from the story. Our learning aims for today then are to recognise the different ways a writer uses to make a reader respond to a character. So the different techniques, as it were, the different tools that they use. And we're also going to look at pairing characters to identify similarities and differences between them. So the strategies that a writer would use then, there tends to be 5 main strategies that a writer would use to make the reader respond to a particular character. Okay, these strategies include: number 1, to make a character say directly what she or he believes in and values. Strategy 2, the writer might make the character do something to show what they believe and value. So if you think about a hero, for example, sometimes they might say what they believe in, what's really important to them, and sometimes they might do something to show that they're either someone that really cares about someone else or not. Strategy number 3, they would use other characters to comment on the main character. Strategy number 4 uses the narrator to tell the reader what the character values. And strategy number 5, they might link a particular character to a particular symbol. Now, these strategies will all be in your OneNote as well. So let's look at an example then. So here's a quotation. Chaz was very uncomfortable. The wind made his eyes water, and the iron-hard trimmed strap of the old helmet was cutting into his chin. So this example here, the writer has used strategy number 4. They're using the narrator to tell the reader what the character values. So we learn that Chaz is very determined because even though he is uncomfortable, he pushes on anyway. So what you would do if you were analysing different characters and the different strategies used is you would have a table and you would put the quotations from your novel under the quotation column. And so that's where you would put back this quotation here, for example. Every time I'm whole and back to normal, something happens to tear me apart and I'm forced to start all over again. In the next column, you write down just the number. So you don't need to write what the strategy is, just the number. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? And then in the last column, you write down what you learn from that. This is a quotation from the novel The Hate You Give. So how would you complete this table? So I want you to pause the video and discuss that as a class. What strategy do you think that quotation is? And what do you learn from that strategy? Remember, you have the list of strategies in your OneNote, or if you're doing this at home and you don't have access to that, you can just rewind this video to look at the strategies again. There are 2 main tasks that you're being asked to do today. Okay? Now, the first one might be in your collaboration space, or it might just be in your own OneNote, depending if you're working with peers or not, and that'll depend on your teacher. Okay? So the table that I showed you earlier, you will be given one of your own for your novel, and you complete the table. So if you are working, say, as a pair, then each half of the pair finds 2 different quotations and writes down what strategies they are and what do you learn. So you could split whatever you've read so far of the novel in half and have one person look at the first half, the second person look at the second. Help each other, but remember to try and sit side by side and face forward. So pause the video and do this task just now. The second task is to look at comparing characters, okay? And so we are going to use Venn diagrams to do that, okay? So if you think about a Venn diagram, you have 2 circles, but they overlap. And here I've just used an example of Harry and Snape from Harry Potter. On the outside circles that are just with their name, you would write down the things that they have that they don't share with the other person. But in the middle bit, That's where the overlapping bit, that's where you write down the things that they actually do have in common. So you have Venn diagrams templates set up in your OneNote already, and I want you to pick two characters. So you might all have a different pair, and your teacher might give you a different pair to do. Okay? And I want you to think about the character's personality, their actions, their attitudes and beliefs, and any other interesting point. So each group member or each half of the pair should have a different character pairing, okay, and your teacher can help you with that. So pause the video, find that sheet, and complete that task. On you go. And that's the end of the investigating character lesson.